Hey, this is the Daily Overpass. My name is Eric and I make apps. Today let's ask the question, do downloads in one country affect the rankings in another country? Okay, so today I want to answer a question that came in the other day from Flighter1990 who said, "Hi, I have a question about country app ranking. As far as I know, if an app gets a lot of downloads and good reviews, then it ranks higher. That's true. What about other country markets? For example, if an app gets downloads and reviews in India and Brazil, will this app rank higher also in the US and UK markets?" Now, I'm just going to speak from my experience because the algorithm is behind closed doors. They're always changing it, but they'll tell you different things about it, what works and what doesn't, and a lot of it's due to experimentation. So my biggest app, when it started getting a lot of downloads in one market, I noticed all the other markets started going up again, even before I localized it to those markets. But localizing, that's the one thing that tripled the downloads almost overnight. And I've talked about this loads of times before, right? And one way to test this would be to have a look at your page in the different Play stores. And the way you do this was be to look at Google Play in the browser, not on the application on your phone, and go through and change the query string where you add HL equals the language. So if you put HL equals ES, that will show you the Spanish version of the page, or HL equals ZH, that will show you the Chinese version. And have a look at the rankings for each and every single one of those. You'll see the number of rankings, like for mine it's like 42,000. You'll see that number of rankings is consistent for every single app store. But if you scroll down and look at the reviews, it only shows the reviews for that language. So it doesn't use the Google Translate like we see in the Google Play console. It just shows the ones for that language. So what that tells me is that, yes, it does make a big difference. It makes a big difference in terms of the rankings, but it also might make a big difference in terms of, you know, just making a decision. Like a user is going to go through and see this has a 4-star ranking based on 40,000 reviews. They're going to treat that a little bit better than they would something that has 5 reviews and a 5-star ranking, if you know what I mean, or 5 rankings and a 5-star rating. So this is something I definitely find to be the case. Just from my personal experience, this may change from time to time, and of course there's also the user retention that plays a big part in the rankings too. But one of the big mistakes I made early on was I wanted to localize my app for different languages, and one of the first things I did was I created a different app entry for every single one. So I had the Spanish version of the app and the French version of the app and everything like that, and as different entries. So the ASO efforts were spread too far. Plus, it's not really the way they want you to do it. You should be using localization to use that properly. And it became, first of all, it became unmanageable. None of the reviews I was getting on the French version of the app were really applying to the English version of the app. So eventually we consolidated everything into just one app. And this is one of the questions people ask me a lot. Should I just do lots of different versions of the same app, or should I just do one app and use localization? Definitely use localization now that we're getting the repetitive content policy on Google Play and we got the 4.3 issues on the Apple App Store. Definitely do one app. Use the localization features. You can do this in native easily. On Android, it's the strings.xml. It's the plist files on iOS. But then you also, we've done it on Corona SDK, rolling our own solution with an array of strings. You know, there's the localization in Ionic and Cordova. I mean, every single platform has a localization, and you really need to be using it. It's something you should think about early on. So yes, to answer your question, Flighter1990, yes, as far as I know, it definitely works. From my experience, it works. So somebody may come forward and say it's a coincidence or whatever, but every time we've localized and we've got downloads in other languages, it helped all across the board. So it's something I highly, highly, highly recommend doing. So let me know if any of you guys also have any alternative opinions there, or if you've had a different experience than I've had. But I'm like 99% sure that that's the case. So anyway, that is it for today. I will talk to you guys again tomorrow.